Hi, I'm Annie. Welcome back to my little crafting corner of the internet. Today we will make a Kuchi Kopi bag. So, if you don't know what a Kuchi Kopi bag is, if you don't know what a Kuchi Kopi is, maybe you should watch Bob's Burgers. In this really amazing show that I love from the bottom of my heart. But in this show there are these toys that are called Kuchi Kopi. And since I have a Louise cosplay, I always wanted to make a bag with the Kuchi Kopi on it as well, since she seems to be a big fan of this kind of toy. And a few days back, I was actually asked to be the first time being a judge at a cosplay competition. And that's amazing. Like, I'm super stoked, I'm super happy. I can look at all of these amazing cosplays close up and just see how well they're done. And I'm super excited for that. I decided though that I wanted to wear my Louise cosplay for this judging experience because it's very comfortable and I can just move around easily and look at everyone's amazing work. So I decided to wear my Louise cosplay. And since I wanted to make this bag, since I made Louise earlier this year but never had the chance, I decided this is the perfect timing. Let me just make this bag now. So why don't you join me and see how I make this bag? So I have these two tote bags. They are from a conference I went to earlier this year. They have like this logo on one side, but the other side is, well, it's shining through, but the other side has like no print on it. And you can see maybe here the quality is not the best. It's already coming apart after that already happened at the conference. So I decided to be using these two tote bags for making the new tote bag with the Kuchi Kopi on it. I started this project by carefully ripping the seams of the handles of the tote, until I realized that I didn't actually needed to do that. I could have just left the handles and reused them as part of the finished bag. Especially since otherwise I would have to attach new handles to the finished tote anyways. Once I realized that in fact I didn't have to fight the tote bag handles, I separated the two sides of the original totes on the seam. The original tote bags do not have seams at the bottom, so I decided to cut a little into the printed side. It's hard to explain, but basically I extended the length of the tote a little. That way the new tote would be longer and actually fit all of my stuff. I mean, I don't know about you, but I seem to always carry an entire household worth of stuff around at conventions. For the Kuchi Kopi design, I used the same green fabric I used to make Louise's dress. To transfer the design onto the green fabric, I used transfer paper and started cutting the design out. Until I immediately started second guessing myself and my life choices.
It was at this moment that she knew. She fucked up.
I realized the stretchy green fabric needed some kind of stabilizer. Otherwise, every step down the road would be a huge pain in the butt. So, take two. I transferred the Kuchi Kopi design again, but this time onto fusible interfacing, which is very see-through, and I didn't need to use transfer paper anymore. I ironed the fusible interfacing onto the green fabric, and yes, I used the leftover of the tote bag to protect everything. And now it finally had the structure it needed to be an applique. I don't know how to say this word, but you know exactly what I mean. I traced all the design details of the Kuchi Kopi onto the front of the fabric, and then put my sewing machine into a very tight zigzag stitch to trace everything. It's basically like drawing with a sewing machine. For the eyes, I traced the shapes onto white felt and attached them using the same tight zigzag stitch that I used for all the outlines. Then, still using that same stitch, I attached the whole Kuchi Kopi piece onto the bag. Once everything was secured to the back, I added 2 little beads for the pupils. He looks very nice and derpy now. That's one side done, one more to go. Originally, I had only planned on having one Kuchi Kopi on the back, but it did look a bit empty, and the melted version is just too funny not to use him. So, I did the whole process again, tracing, stabilizing and stitching, but this time for the melted Kuchi Kopi design. Rarely does a sewing project represent my inner feelings and my inner everything as much as this melted Kuchi Kopi does. Feeling very meh. Let's attach the second Kuchi Kopi to the bag. After sewing the 2 Kuchi Kopi designs onto the fabric, I turned the 2 sides back into a bag by sewing 3 straight lines to close the sides. Then I grabbed my serger and finished the raw edges to prevent them from fraying. Unfortunately, I currently only have black serger threads, so the inside of the bag looks a little unrefined. We should just ignore the inside maybe. But honestly, I need to invest into more thread colors for my serger. However, for a serger you always need 3 or 4 spools at once, and that is just a bit too much money for me right now, or like a little bit too much thread to just have lying around. But still, I should probably at least buy a set of white thread for my machine. By the way, what you are seeing me doing right now is preparing my tote bag to give it some box corners. Box corners is just a fancy way of saying that I pinched the bottom corner of the bag so that they form little triangles, or actually I marked them first with a pen so I know they would be straight. And then I sewed straight across these triangles. Now when you flip the bag right side out again, those triangles create a flat square base. It's a small detail, but it makes the bag look more intentional and gives it a little bit more room. And since this tote is supposed to be specifically for conventions and for cosplays where I cannot wear a backpack, I want to add at least some security. I didn't have the time or the patience to put in a zipper at the top, but I did add 3 snaps so I at least can close things up a little bit. It's not pickpocket proof, that's a hard word, pickpocket proof, but it's definitely better than leaving the bag totally open while running around at a con with half my belongings on me. And now, it's time for the reveal. point of me filming this outro, I've already been to a convention using the Kuchi Kopi bag, and I gotta say, it was great. It was big enough to fit everything in. I had like water bottles and food and everything I needed. My wallet fit in here. It was nice that I could close it. I even could fit my jacket in it. So I really love this. And if you enjoyed watching me making this bag or are interested in more upcoming cosplay projects and what I'm up to, I would really appreciate a follow or maybe a comment and maybe a like or anything of that matter. It would really help the channel. Thank you!